Chapter 4, Farewell My Lovely.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty, dead tired. Then I saw Tessa, my darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. "I'm here," I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. "Who's there?" Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red, painted red, painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this...
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
Welcome back to Chicken Police, where we have made it to the insane asylum. My word. Yeah, just look at this place. Not great. Not great. Well, let's start our usual peruse, left to right. Interesting.
This picture...
It's very...
special?
Yeah. Colorful? Can they see these colors? Like, what's up with that?
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out. This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no, no, no. The poor devil.
I don't think... Have we heard talk of M.B. Davis before?
We should go to reception first. Let them know we're here.
Yes, let's. Okay. Oh, window?
Insane ghosts in the woods, Marty.
Sonny, it's not funny.
Alright.
Ah, like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Of all the great wild ones.
Greetings, miss.
Is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you. The Chicken Police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumey, that's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, What can I do for...
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Oh, goodness, here we go. Here we go. Alright, well, there's only one question.
Miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Okay, well...
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
Yeah.
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho... what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. MacChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet, other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like, Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Okay. Have you seen this wristband?
Now, what can you say about this, miss? Have you, seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the Chicken Police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
Look at Marty.
All right.
Laying down the charm.
All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler.
Oh, so
The
it's true.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
Oh, so it is true then. It is actually...
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
But wait, if that belongs to Wessler, then whose body was taken out?
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
Why, thank you,
What a
Miranda.
surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
Oh, because he has
I
disappeared.
see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly.
Oh,
Great
hello.
wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Okay, time to crack through the head of Dr. Quetzal. Let's look around
Your
quickly?
office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Okay, very, very Puritan room.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
Is it if one of the patients escapes
It's
through your
not
room?
as big of a difference as you'd think.
Hmm.
Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
So he's basically got a cell for a room, is that it?
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, cluck up.
Okay, let's talk to the man. Well, let's look at him first.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
Look the way he's just swaying back and forth. Isn't that kind of disturbing?
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
Oh yeah? Because Albert disappeared?
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin MacChicken, from
the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Okay, so ask function unlocked. Let's go. Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain
Yeah,
yourselves?
how do you guys get funding?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
Okay. So...
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Okay, can you tell us anything about Madame Zewas?
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Okay, well, it looks like we have now unlocked the interrogation function. Let's just step back quickly and look at the clues. So we've got more codex here. Since its foundation, an attempt to conquer Cloville has only been made once. The half-century occupation started in 622 and lasted until 677. During this time, the Harar Empire took over all of Cloville's territories except its colonies, which, in the end, with the help of Swolasso and Vlavoslavia, took back control over Cloville. Okay. Goddamn, still don't know who this is. And now we have gotten the nurse. Miranda. Full of life, full of hope, full of almost everything. And she's a big fan of us, unfortunately. Oh. A very nice nurse we met behind the desk of the asylum. Her name is Miranda. She's an embarrassingly huge fan of the Chicken Police. Oh, well, we're kind of special. God damn it, Sonny. We're not nobody. Let's look at Dr. Quetzal. Green Tree Python. Cold, distant, professional, and he gives me the creeps. Ugh. Professor is a real polyhister. Scientist, writer. Wow. Scientist, writer, philosopher, and who knows what else. Makes you feel like an underachiever, does it? The professor's family has governed the mental health facility and its estate for more than 100 years. Quite a heritage, huh? Okay, and then the last thing we need to look at is Albert himself. We're getting somewhere with this guy. We might have a bingo. Albert Wessel disappeared from the asylum. Okay, let's get into the interrogation. The questions.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, I say because this is a doctor, let's try and focus on the medicine. Wow, look at that, we're already in the negative, so we've got to be really careful here. So, when did Albert become a resident?
So, when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Yeah, what kind of special treatment did you get, Albert? Did it threaten you in any way? Okay, let's focus on the medicine.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
How did Albert relate to you? Do you think he was a threat to others? How did you see Albert when you first met? How did you see Albert when you first met? Do you think he was a threat to others? No. How did he relate to you? How did you see Albert? Okay, yeah, focused medicine.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
That's interesting.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes, he was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution?
Oh, yes, what? Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
What, so he was able to leave?
Quetzal's
Fine.
not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Like, so how was he... So Albert could just walk in and out? You're keeping some things from me, am I right? How could you let Albert leave this place? When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? What, so... Yeah, Albert could just walk in and out?
So Albert could just walk in and out.
Far from it, Mr. Featherland, though Mr. Hobart Wessler had appeared on many occasions and took Albert with him. At those times, he usually brought him back the same day, or the next, at the latest.
What was the purpose of these outings?
Yeah.
Albert Wessler was working on a painting, Mr. Featherland.
Oh, yes, the painting. It's all starting to come together now.
Is this the painting, the edge of which we have, maybe?
So, you've heard about the painting.
Sure I have.
Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha? Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? He wouldn't have spoken about Natasha. He might have spoken about the painting. Maybe the brother? Let's try the brother quickly.
Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother?
Rarely. He respected and loved his brother, but when he came to talk, he was usually angry.
Oh, why?
Oh, fear, jealousy, frustration, rivalry, maybe all of these combined.
So Albert left on many occasions to consider working on the painting?
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Oh.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
I want to know what the subject was.
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out.
What?
Or cut off, I don't know exactly. And he was blinded in one eye.
What the hell?
Or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
What the hell?
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
Okay, maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine the wounds thoroughly? Yeah, maybe that there. The two fellows who brought Albert back, could you describe them? I mean, it might have been the ram and the bobcat, maybe. You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right? Mysterious daydreamer, addicted to details, confused. Okay, well, if we're gonna deal with the confusion, like maybe... Yeah, examine the wounds thoroughly, maybe? I don't
Maybe
know.
it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland, but even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off, and his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree.
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the accident? Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think Albert or Albert? Yeah. Just tell him to concentrate rather than pull yourself together.
Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
Why?
But why would he do that?
Maybe Albert saw something he could accidentally reveal.
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome, Detective.
We need to go see... what happened then? How did Albert disappear?
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay. God damn it, we did it again. We got 90% accuracy. Like, how does that... Like, we get 5 stars, but what's with the 90% accuracy? Albert Russell disappeared. We have a hunch. What could have happened to him? Okay. Does he have anything else to say? No?
I have a hard time bearing their proximity. My blood boils and my heart bangs.
Well, we need to get to Albert's room.
It's the primordial fear, they say. That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I think that was an important detail.
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Well, that's, surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
Alright, let's start investigating. A handful of waffles. Nice. What's on the writing desk? Pile of papers?
Scribbles, newspaper articles, study papers, poems. Perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. 2 men and 1 woman. Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please, stitch up your beak, okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Marty. Marty's the best. Anything else? Let's look at this
Look
letter.
at that. A letter.
Okay, well I think that is everything here. Everything on the desk, at least. Let's look at the little window.
A small window. A small hope.
The creepy mural.
No way. Is this some kind of puzzle?
I don't think so. But we could still find something important here. A pattern, a sign, anything.
I see eyes. Lots of eyes. You guys see anything? Some kind of pattern? Is this that's music? That's a cat, clearly. This is a mouse girl? Is that? Eyes, all the eyes. Does that mean he's being watched? I don't know. And I wonder, can the chicken police see these colors? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, interesting.
The style. It's very familiar to me.
You've been lonely for far too long, huh?
Is this the same style? Is this the same? Did he paint Natasha?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little.
Is that what Sonny's implying? That this style is the style that was used to paint the picture of Natasha? Or even Madame Zywas? No, but Albert couldn't be... Albert's way too young to have painted her in her younger days. So it couldn't be that. Writing this, we looked at the fancy bed.
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always.
Okay, let's just check out the stuff we have found in our inventory. Ewan most likely killed his own brother, Albert Wessler, and made Zip dispose of the body. It seems most plausible right away now. Goldman's and profession in his own field, but the thing that happened to Albert even got a rise out of him. Not surprises there, I guess. So it even shook the doctor. And there was one more. Albert. We've learned a lot about Albert now, haven't we? Albert's brother even took him out of the asylum on several occasions to paint that fateful picture of Natasha. I think we have a motive, gentlemen. So it's definitely a picture of Natasha then, is it? Albert Wesley disappeared. We have a hunch about what could have happened to him. And let's look at our clues. So it's that letter and this picture.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman.
Yeah, without doubt. Without doubt. I know I don't exist. I don't exist because you don't see me, but I'm not what you think I am. You don't think about me, do you? Never, no. I think of you every day, every minute, always. In my dreams, I've become one with him, one soul. You know who I'm thinking about, right? Can you feel it? Can you feel that I'm there too, with you? Do you feel it, right? I can't hold it in myself for long. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Please, I'm sorry, but I can't help it. The world is crashing down. The whole world just rotting and rotting. Everything is rotting around me. I have to get out of here to become one with my destiny, and one with you. Forgive me.
Albert was madly in love with Natasha, and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that.
Oh, okay.
What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty.
What do you mean?
Everything will be revealed soon.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what now? Where to?
Back to Clawville, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
You're driving me crazy. But all right, let's go home.
Okay, well, thank you, Doc. More clues? Albert fell fatally in love with Natasha. What was the reason he had to die? That is the question. Okay, then I believe it is telling us to go back to the hotel, and we will do that shortly. We're just going to take a quick break here, guys, and when we get back, we're going to be seeing more. Yeah, seeing if we can put together all of the pieces of information we've gotten so far. But that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.